committing to students. And I remember in those days we assigned chores in the morning, so we used to have what we call morning duties. And I was saying, the worst morning duty that we ever had was washing the toilet because students are mischievous. They'll just mess up the toilet, knowing that you are the one that washed the toilet and all that. But at the same, it was all fun. It was fun. Now let's look at, of course, you mentioned a little bit of the policies and practices. Let's just look at one aspect of it that we've not actually talked of. How should administrators manage conflicts among boarders, the students, among boarders and all that? How should they manage conflicts? Especially in places where they don't even have policies and practices, and they don't even, the students even don't know how, no much rules and regulations and how these things are managed. How should they manage that conflict among students?
First, it starts from when they are admitted. You must ask the right questions from the parents about their children. If they are being withdrawn from another school here, we need to know why. Was it that they misbehaved in the school because they were either sent away from the schools where they were? You can expect they are bringing the same attitude. So you need to know the kind of students you're also admitting to the boarding house and take time to study them. And then have a proper orientation. And I always like to add that let parents get involved with talking to their kids before they even come to the boarding house. Because we have found that when there's a parental input in the way their kids things go on in the boarding house, the results are always better. And then there should be a proper orientation about tolerance, about what it takes to live in a communal place such as a boarding house with children from various backgrounds and so diversities. And so you have to be sure that you teach children how to understand one another and be tolerant of those from other cultures. Because some of those conflicts come from one person thinking that, what I think is better or is right. Or even looking down on others. Remember, we went to federal schools and we had kids from all over the country.
Students whose parents were in the House of Assembly, House of Reps, Senators, and
farmers' children.
In fact, I had a grandson of the Sultan of Sokoto in my school.
Exactly. We had the likes of such people in every
Some of them will rather look down on some people, and there was always this disparity, so to say, But because we were the orientation, and then the orientation was such that everybody saw each other as equal.
Exactly.
So it wasn't really displayed. But today, as I talk now, that is openly displayed.
Wow.
And then parents even incite their children to let other children know that my father is in the House of Assembly. And so you just mind the way you talk to me, and then you cross their way, so much conflict and all that, which is prevalent now in schools. And as an administrator, to handle such conflicts becomes difficult. Because some parents don't
when there's no input from the home and support from home.
Support from home. So that is why this question is coming out. How should administrators actually manage conflicts between, especially these two classes of people? So that it won't be, you don't become an enemy to one child or parent and all that.
Okay, I was trying to give a background of how these things go. Another would be regular meetings with students and things to help boost their self-esteem. You cannot stop class distinction and disparity in the society. Even when they leave school, they are going to face it in the larger society. So you have to teach them how to live with it and how to build self-esteem to relate with anybody. But then in addition, there should be someone who is delegated as the child protection officer, or maybe there are also guidance counselors that they can talk to, because some of those conflicts will go on even after you've resolved one, another one comes up. There's always one issue or the other. The basic thing is to build a sense of esteem in each child, so that no matter what the next child does, you are confident in who you are. But the ones that are out of boundary, you will know when to report. Like people intentionally excluding you from a group, like you
Yeah,
can't join a volleyball
exactly.
club, you know,
Yeah,
you're not
sure.
one of us. Those should be reported. Every
Mhm.
child has a right to participate in every activity he or she
Yeah.
is capable of doing.
Mhm.
And so regular meetings and having people that they can report to,
Mhm.
and people who can listen, and also teaching children how to even resolve conflicts by themselves and standing up for themselves, because you can't report every little issue, oh, he said this to me, he didn't talk to me. At that age, when you're now a teenager, you should be able to walk up to a classmate and say, oh, I said hello to you and you didn't say hello to me.
Yeah.
I think that's rude.
Mhm.
Are you getting
Yeah.
me? Instead of constantly reporting everything, there's some that you have to just stand up for yourself and say, look, that was rude. This is not acceptable. And if this happens again, I might not bother to greet you.
Yeah.
I'm not in school to greet you every day while you ignore me. So that would come from a place of self-esteem. Then there are issues where the boarding house staff will need to step in, like bullying.
Yeah.
In that case, there should be a designated child protection officer, because schools have policies on paper, but the actual implementation becomes a problem. Who do we report to? How do we report? Is there a Google form we can go to the computer room and fill? Do we write it and drop in the suggestion box, or do we address it straight to the principal or school administrator or to the child protection officer?